Good evening. I'm Fireside Bob, here with my buddies Silver Chief and Francois. Sorry, Premier Legault. I'm here to give you a story from my vast treasure trove of Christmas tales. We all know that Christmas is the biggest time of the year for Christmas for gift getting. But the other side of the coin is it's also the biggest time of the year for gift giving. But why do we give gifts? Morley Callahan, in his story, The Bachelor's Dilemma, explores this question. The night before Christmas, Harry Holmes, the plump young executive with the bow tie, came home to his bachelor apartment near the university and found the janitor had put a turkey on the kitchen table. It was a fine bird, 22 pounds, far too big for his small icebox. And tied to the leg was a note from the manager of his favorite restaurant congratulating him on winning their turkey raffle. Wondering when he had taken the ticket, he thought, well, the devil must look after its own. And he phoned his brother's wife, who had invited him for dinner on Christmas Day. Well, this year, for a change, I'll provide the turkey, he said, feeling exuberant. I've got it right here. Oh, Harry, that's a shame, she said. We've got a turkey big enough for 3 days. It's in the icebox. There was no room in the icebox for his turkey. And so she had to disappoint him. Soon he was smiling and indulging himself, anticipating the pleasure he would get giving the turkey to Tom Hill, his underpaid assistant, who just got married. Then he talked on the telephone to Tom, who had to explain his wife had bought a turkey that afternoon, and was so apologetic and embarrassed, Harry thought, you'd think I was trying to get him to do something. He called 3 old friends. 2 were out of town for the holiday. The other had won a turkey in the bowling alley. Then he remembered the 2 other friends whom he admired, sports columnists on the local newspapers, were accustomed to foregathering at this hour into a cafe on Bloor Street. With the turkey in his arms, he took a taxi to the cafe, grinned jovially at the hat check girl who asked him to check the turkey, strode past her to the familiar corner table, laid the turkey before his astonished friends, and invited them to toss for it. One telephoned his wife, the other his sister. Both had turkeys and crowded refrigerators. The hostile waiter glared at the turkey lying on the table. And Harry's friends, having stood him treat, began to make jokes. I'm afraid, said one, teasing Harry and pretending to be in the theatrical business, we have a turkey on our hands. It was all very jolly, and he laughed too. But the fact was, they didn't appreciate that he had thought of them, and he had to pack up his turkey and go home. In the kitchen, standing beside the turkey, he felt irritated. It was as if his brother's wife, and Tom, and all his friends had joined together to deny him the satisfaction of pleasing them with a gift. And as he looked out the window at the lighted houses of his city of 1,000,000 souls, he suddenly felt discontented with his life, which had been going so smoothly until he had to get a turkey cooked. There's something matter with the world when you can't give a turkey to anyone who knows you, he thought. To devil with it. Then he tried to sell the turkey to the restaurant, but the manager refused to buy back a turkey he had given away. Why don't you try the butcher, he asked. A butcher store a few blocks away on Harbor was still open, but the bald-headed butcher, pointing to his turkey-filled window, said, "Look what I have left, mister. I'll sell you one at half price." On the way home, the big turkey seemed to take on weight. Harry's arms ached, and he was glad when he dumped it on the kitchen table. Exhausted, he lay down and fell asleep. At the Christmas dinner at his brother's place, they were surprised to hear his turkey was still on his kitchen table, and he wondered why he felt ashamed. When he got home in the evening, he stared uneasily at the naked bird. "It'll go bad," he thought, and he sniffed. Picking it up, he went out and began to cross Queen's Park. It had begun to snow. Wet, dead leaves in the melting snow glistened under the park lights. Shifting the turkey from one arm to another, he headed for a church along a side street. There he asked the white-haired man who answered the door, "Do you know anyone who would like a Christmas turkey?" He added apologetically, "I know it's late, I know." "It's never too late, my son," the old man said. "I know 100 poor families in the neighborhood who will appreciate a turkey. Won't you give me your name?" "It doesn't matter," Harry said awkwardly. And as soon as he felt the weight of the turkey being lifted off his arms, he understood why he had felt ashamed at his brother's place. He hadn't been looking for someone who would appreciate a turkey. He had been looking for someone who would appreciate him.